I probably read a couple hundred books on technical analysis over the last 10 or 15 years. I'm a retired public school teacher, and I heard you talking today on your earlier show that if you really knew what you were doing in this business, you probably wouldn't have to work again. And I wake up every morning, I look at your book, I can tell you, every other author is just pales in comparison to your clarity. I just wanted to thank you.
I really appreciate it.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. And, of course, let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Always do your best, but don't overdo. Always do your best, but don't overdo. When you overdo, you deplete your body and you go against yourself. And it will take longer to accomplish your goal. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 16, NASDAQ up 16, S&P's flat. Gold contract down $2.80, trading at $1,668 an ounce. Silver up 23 cents at $32.21 an ounce. Copper down 7 pennies at $3.29 a pound. Light sweet crude flat at $85.18. Bonds up a point at 139.27. Dollar index flat at 77.18. Euro up 33 ticks at 136. And the yen is flat at 76.66. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do we have? Okay. So, we go back to July. You know, July, we're at 1350. You go downtown, we get to 1101. Now, how we came down there, folks, you know, no doubt vicious, right? Heavy acceleration, lots of conviction. We've been in this consolidation since the 8th of August. Each time we get up to approximately the 1200 to 1230 S&P, gives it up, comes back down the other side. Each time we're up there, the volume dies on the vine. Now, you talk about dying on the vine. The volume, folks, is amazing right now. We've done 880 million. Yesterday you did 888 million. You're going into 1.2 billion. Bottom line is that this is problematic in a huge way, not in a short way. And the reason I'm saying in a huge way is this. Yesterday, you know, no matter, when you go up, the bottom line is that your volume should come up. Going down, you know, if it contracts, great, you're going to go back up. So, you know, yesterday you could make all the excuses that it's Columbus Day, it's, you know, it's holiday up in Canada. Bottom line, what do we end up doing? You end up even doing lighter volume today. You're going against the swing point. What we're going to see, you're going to see a failure at the swing point up here. The swing point I'm talking about is the 1201 to 1220, 1230 S&P. The only thing that was even holding the market up today was Apple. Apple was holding the NDX up as it was holding the S&Ps up. So that's your S&P. We go over to the Dow Industrials. We take a look at the Dow. What do you have with the Dow? Same setup in the Dow. Dow is, you know, sideways market on the Dow today. 16 points, you were down, but, you know, it's really a sideways move. Dow, you know, looks like it wants to test at 11,550. We got to 11,447. Same deal, though. Absolutely no juice going to the upside. Let's go to the NASDAQ Composite next. We go to the Composite. Composite goes up 16 bucks. The high on the Composite out there is 26.43. The low of that high is 25.89. So we got into the 25.87 today. Composite also wants to get into that high. Now, the Composite, folks, check this out. We did 1.6 billion today. We did 1.6 billion yesterday. You're going at the 4 billion shares. This is not a good scene. So, what does it mean? It means that you can't bust them up. What are we going to do? You're going to try to go bust them down again. Now, in that context, watch this now. This is where it gets really cool. In that context, what you have is this. We're back to the S&P now. Now, in that context, we're at 1195. Coming right back down, it's going to actually be hard to bust into or bust below the 1125 area. And the reason I'm saying that is this. See, if you come back down this quick, which I expect we're going to, by the way. I expect what you'll see is that you'll see us go for the swing point more than likely tomorrow, and then you're going to start backing off. The 1125 is going to be tough to break on the way down, because what we had there on October 4th is that the 1125, of course, was testing, and the low of that day was 1074. That was testing out the 9th of August. You know, so it's going to be intriguing to see how we come back in. If you come back in the first day and the volume does start expanding, then you start moving sideways before the 1125, then that creates problems in paradise in a big way. Now, let's go over to Apple, because Apple, no doubt, it's amazing too. You know, Apple held up the market last year in a huge way. Apple is holding up the market right now, so check it out. Apple's at $400.29. Now, what Apple did is this. Apple, number one, got into the downdraft day of September 22nd. We had 34 million shares there. So now you're going up on 21 million. But you know what? You're into the price. That price is $396. So that's saying, hey, Apple's game to go test out the highs. And that's, I expect, what it will do. Now, it's coming up on anemic volume. You're coming into 27 million shares. We'll see how it tests that level. Because what you have at that level up there, you get the test and it fails, Apple will be right back down the other side of this consolidation. And the consolidation is huge. It's a 70-point consolidation, folks. But the Apple, no doubt, right now is not only holding up the NDX 100, it was holding up the S&Ps. The S&Ps were flat, but Apple was actually holding it up. After the close out here today, you had Alcoa come out with numbers. Their sales were $6.4 billion. The estimate was $6.2 billion. Let's see, do they make any money? Alcoa always is. You know, it's amazing. They're always the first ones to come out, and they're always just absolutely insane. Meaning, okay, so the estimate was 22 cents. They made 15 cents. Yeah, they never make numbers. It's not even close. It's pretty amazing. And if you want to see something that's pretty amazing, one of the tigers in the den, evidently the CEO of Apple right now is on CNBC, and he is saying that, let's see, that uncertainty is fueling fear. Folks, that is such a bunch of garbage, okay? And the reason I'm saying that is that Alcoa, on a continual basis, okay, can't make money. It's not even close. Alcoa closed at $10.30. They're trading out at $9.90. They just can't do it. What he's also saying is that he's saying that their growth rate is at 12%, and you know, they see that aluminum demand doubling by 2020. Yeah, sure, 2020. Give me a break to 2020. Pretty amazing. Bottom line is that you're at 990 out here. 990 comes down to the, let's see, 919 is the swing low out there. It's going to go after it. Now, what happens in the aluminum market, folks, the bottom line is that it's a high energy type of market period. But it is amazing. You know, they come out, they're always the first one to come out with earnings, and I don't think, yeah, I remember maybe twice in the last 8 years they've done all right. You know, even when aluminum was going through the roof, okay, bottom line is that they barely made money. Now, let's talk about China a little. Shanghai, you know, we go through all these markets every day, so we get a good feeling about what's going on in the world. Well, you know, Shanghai last night, you want to see something that's just absolutely amazing, folks? So what happened last night in China, and it was this, is that the actual government, folks, has one of the largest funds in the world. And their fund last night went into their 4 largest banks and bought shares of the banks. Okay, they made a big deal of it, just like our government would make a big deal of it. Bottom line, what does it do? To the banks, you know, it put those shares up 6%. Bottom line, for Shanghai, it didn't do a thing. Shanghai popped at the open. It opened up at 24.12 and sold off all night long, all day long there, all night long, closed at 23.48. Bottom line, Shanghai can't get out of their way. Now, what's important to understand, particularly for all you commodity bulls out here, is this. The 4 largest lenders in in China, okay, they're broke. That's the bottom line. That's why they got to come in. This is a way that they can bail out the banks. You can't. Bottom line, it's big problems. Why is it big problems? Is that they're overbuilt beyond belief. They haven't sold the units, number one. They have empty units all over the place, and we don't even know about where the books are coming out. Now, in that context, you want to hear a number that is absolutely a mind blower? China, in particular, has actually bought off several resource companies more than 40%, 40%, of the production of a few large commodity companies. That, folks, okay, is what? That is a huge problem for commodities in general. Now, the example I just gave is base metals. That's base metals. And it's going to be a big problem. If you're wondering why some of these base metal companies are down in a big way, that's one of the reasons. The second part of this, though, is even larger. And what that is that what's going to happen now? Because now what you have flat out is that, prior to this, whether it's analysts, whether it's the governments, they're saying, bottom line, that, hey, listen, don't worry, the banks are all right. Well, we know they're not all right now, okay? That's the bottom line. They're not all right. One of the targets is saying China is, sucking up all our natural resources. Well, you don't have to worry about that. You know why? Because they have all those resources, and they're all empty. They're all going to rust apart. They're all going to fall down, okay? Russia, China, forget it, folks, okay? The bottom line is that they're going to be sitting, there's empty buildings all over the place. That is going to be not only problematic, it's problematic for the supply chain, period, okay? You start putting that together, with the dollar going higher, and what you're going to have is that these base metals are actually going to go a lot lower than they are right now. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Let's take a look at some of the high volumes. Let's see. That's pretty good. I have the high volume stocks in China from last night. I like that. You stay right there, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. We had American Express up 31 cents. ExxonMobil was flat. We had Citigroup up $1.31. Honeywell was up 21. Big Blue is down 162. Hewlett Packard was up 18. You had RIM up $1.18. We're going to be right back.